Good morning. I am so glad you are here with me today. Today, as we start season 3, I'm going to give you an overview of the 4 women that we are throughout the month. I know you've heard me say we are biologically and hormonally different every week, so I want to dive into that. But I have a little story for you first. Today, I was on the phone with a user cycle method client, and we were talking about where she was in her cycle and how she was feeling really productive, and she's in week 3. She's really busy. She's just checking all the things off the list, and she was saying that next week I'm going to do this whole list. And I reminded her that this was the week to check all the things off, and that by late next week she'd likely be very low energy and would be at a place where she just needed to pick her top 3, versus today, well, she did 3 things while her tea was steeping. The follow-up discussion that we had was that yes, women can do everything that men can do, and there are days and weeks that those things could be done super quickly and easily versus slogging through. It's time for us to take a broader perspective of our to-do list and plug it into the weeks of our cycle when it can be done quickly and easily rather than fighting our physiology. My point, of course, being that we can use our cycle as our strength when we lean into it and not as a weakness like when we ignore it. So today I'm going to do an overview of the 4 women that I've discussed before, when they show up, and what their characteristics and strengths are, okay? Okay. Up first, Frisky Fiona. Week 1, the week of your period. It's the first week of your cycle. Your progesterone, your estrogen, and your testosterone are all low, but estrogen and testosterone are starting to climb. This creates increasing energy and strength and pain tolerance. During this week, your brain is really good at reviewing the previous month and setting goals for this month. It's very analytical. Your energy is on the rise. Your pain tolerance also on the rise. And your frisky also on the rise. Oh, estrogen, you are so wonderful. This, of course, means that our brain is wanting to learn new things. Your workouts are faster and heavier than the week before, both because energy level and pain tolerance. I'm not saying to work through pain. I'm saying you just don't have as much pain. And your frisky on the rise. It's a great time for active dates like dancing or ice skating. Week 2, Shira Sherry. This is also known as the follicular phase. Progesterone is still low, and while estrogen and testosterone are going to peak at the end of the week, energy, strength, and pain tolerance will peak with them. This week, your brain is more creative. Everything from thinking outside the box to artistic adventures like painting and sewing. Your energy is very high. Your pain tolerance, hand in hand with energy, very high. And frisky, well, we are ramping up into ovulation, and survival of the species dictates sex, sex, and more sex. This means it is a great time to start the projects and figure out all the fun stuff. Figure out all the doodads, do all the fun and the pretty things. In your workouts, you can push those personal records in both speed and strength, and this is the big one, it will feel easy. Bonus, right? And more than ever, any other time of the month, you are open to a quickie and experimenting in the bedroom. Week 3, laid back Leona, ovulation, also known as the luteal phase, ovulation into luteal phase. Estrogen and testosterone are going to start to drop while progesterone starts to rise. You'll know when this happens as your body temperature has a spike. And in preparation for a baby, your energy and pain tolerance drop. Remember, survival of the species. To support any possibility of a baby, your body wants you to rest and nest. This week, your brain shifts into communication skills and negotiations. I mean, let's face it, if we can talk someone else into doing the heavy lifting, it's good for you and baby, right? Energy and pain tolerance are both dropping as resources are shifted to baby growing possibilities. And Frisky has a residual high at the front end of the week and starts dropping off. This means it's a great week to get feedback on your project and negotiate the heavy lifting. Your workouts are going to be slower and a little bit lighter, with an emphasis on form versus weight or speed. And dates should be figured on being more conversation and Frisky, a little bit slower, requires more warm-up time. And week 4, Yoga Yava. The week before your period, also known as late luteal, most likely to have PMS. Common but not normal. Estrogen and testosterone have already bottomed out, and progesterone is gearing up to meet them at the bottom. Estrogen, strength, and pain tolerance are all low. So is your energy. This week, your brain is in nesting mode. Get the things done. It's a great time to create a checklist and put your head down and get it done. Energy and pain tolerance, not to mention tolerance in general, are all low. Frisky, also low, and super low. This means your brain is wrapping the project of the month up, tying up the loose ends. And as your energy decreases throughout the week, it's a good time to skip the gym, maybe go for a relaxing massage. At most, you're doing some restorative yoga or some foam rolling. And this culmination of low tolerance, things you've been able to power through all month long, not going to happen this week. Whether physically lifting heavy stuff or mentally dealing with a sore subject from your honey or your kids or your boss, it might be seen as bitchiness, but I prefer to think of it as revealing the things we shouldn't have been putting up with all month long. Frisky, you might want to plan on lots of making out, cuddling first, if you haven't sent him away for the week. And then repeat back to week 1. Next week, we will discuss how you can best support your cycle with food, exercise, and stress reduction techniques based on where your hormones are at. Until then, I'd like to invite you to take out a calendar and, if you're cycling, figure out where you are and notice how you feel in each of these areas: your brain, your energy, your workouts, your friskiness. If you're not cycling, we'll still take out that calendar and take notes how you're feeling on friskiness, energy, friskiness, energy, and brain power, right? And see if you can figure out what week you're in, or at least which half of the month you're at, before or after that spike. Because yeah, you still have a cycle. We just need to figure out where you are and support it. And we'll talk about that next week. Until next time.